All right, here we are another week around the trash fire. Your host Mathias, along with the boy.
John.
Well, John, it's getting closer and closer to 10th edition. My excitement
Yeah.
is up
What's
there.
up? What's up there?
My excitement.
Well, that's good because mine's kind of not.
What? Not up there.
Nope. It's like cool. 10th edition. I mean, I'm getting the box set. I already pre-ordered it with Will, but
You
it's like cool,
pre-ordered
man.
what?
10th edition.
Did you pre-order it already?
The local store. You could put your name up and they guarantee you a copy. So I did that.
I see. I see. I thought you were using your GW connections there.
No.
Well, I'm excited for it.
That's good. Maybe it's an exciting time for Warhammer 40,000.
You know, I just like the blank slate that usually
Yeah.
comes with. Doesn't come with every edition with 40k, but the eighth edition clean slate was nice, and everyone starting again at 0 on 10th will be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and fair until all the complicated rules start piling up.
Yep.
But we got that. We got some Legion news to talk about.
Yes. Points update finally dropped, so that's kind of cool.
And then we got some sad stories in here too. But we're first going to start with, it is June now, which means it is time for a new coin / model of the month. So for this month, we're getting 2 models. You can pick up the new Seraphim model or the new Gaunt model. So you'll be able to claim the 2 new models. So that's kind of nice of GW to hand out the 2 gorgeous new looking models out there. And as for the new month coin, we're getting a Tyrannid coin, which is, for you collectors out there.
Yeah.
That is the month of June right there. I figured we'll change things up here as well. Usually we save this for the last, but given what this topic is, new model Monday. It is Blood Bowl related.
Yeah, not a fan, but I mean, that's Blood Bowl.
It's Blood Bowl. It's still getting support from GW. And like I've said before, it's got to be big somewhere if it keeps getting more and more models.
Yeah, a lot of the local stores play it. There's a dedicated group of players that enjoyed this game, which, good for them. Good for you, Blood Bowl players.
So there you go. There's your update, Blood Bowl. Moving on, though. Just piling through this. We're going to go right into our faction focuses. And the first one up is going to be the Imperial Agents. So GW has not forgot about them. They're going to be playing their key role here. So we touched on them, I think the Vindicare last time. I think he was previewed. But here's their rule. The assigned agents, you can have up to 1 of the unique characters here. The Vindicar, Calyxus, Evisor, Calidus. Assassins, depending on the size of your game, of course. So, can't be spamming 2 Vindicars, 2 Calyxus assassins, You can only take 1 unique one because they are considered epic heroes. And they can't be your warlords. No. Those have to be reserved for your Inquisitors. And here we go. We got a stat sheet of the Vindicator Assassin. And his most notable thing here is the Shield Breaker, which is going to be a once per battle kind of shot here. But if you do get it through, it is no saving throws of any kind. So If you want to snipe out that one character leading a unit who doesn't have a lot of wounds, considering it's a D3 plus 3 here, you could one shot a character, one shot a Farseer here. Nice Space Marine captain. Hell, you could even do a lot of damage to a Primarch, really.
Yeah, 6 wounds isn't nothing if you manage to roll that high.
Well, technically 9 wounds. If you
Oh, right.
if
Yeah,
you
if
get the
you
dead shot ability.
yeah, then you get 9 wounds, which could one shot a Primarch, conceivably.
Yeah, so I mean it's pretty good. I mean, but it's only once per game, of course. Other notable things, his pistol is actually honestly a lot better than his rifle. I mean, the rifle has the shield thing, but again, one shot. But with the pistol, 3 attacks. You're doing, if you're somehow roll like a god, 6 damage a die. That's that's 18 damage right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So that's the Vindicare. Movement 7, toughness 4, 6 up save, 6 up leadership, and 4 wounds. Pretty scary. Then we got the generic Inquisitor. He's, whatever, really. He'll be leading a force. If you use a stratagem on his unit, on a d6 you're getting a command point. So one way to farm your command points back if you need to do something, if you need to buff his unit or anything like that. Other than that, whatever. The Imperial Breachers, Navy Breachers, they're whatever, really. Nothing too different from their 9th edition counterpart here. And then Inquisitor Greyfax, I think has the highest leadership we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think so too, which is interesting.
Outclassing the Primarchs.
Mm-hmm.
I guess having faith in the Emperor really gives you that strong leadership value. But I don't think I've ever seen a Greyfax on the field.
I
So,
saw it a few times when she first came out, but not last edition. Then again, I didn't really play a lot last edition, but
yeah, I had stopped playing 40k when she had been released, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen her on the battlefield. So I can't really say much about her, but other than highest leadership so far. And that is the Inquisitor Focus, really. Not really anything else yet. Those are just book recommendations. So overall, we'll see. We'll see how they go. It will be nice to see some Inquisitors / assassins make some appearance, because honestly, I don't see any assassins really played. There was one time, I think LVO 2022, I saw a guy, he took a big fortress. I don't remember what it was called. And that was his terrain piece that he paid for. And then he just had a bunch of assassins, and that was his army. I think that's the only time I've ever seen assassins ever used, let alone all 4 unique assassins. So it'll be nice to see if they'll get any play. I have to take a look at the Calexis. That's the Psyker, anti-Psyker, right?
Yeah, anti-Psyker one, yeah.
I used that one in my Black Templar army. I want to see what his skills will be like now that Psychic has kind of changed. But we'll have to wait and see. So let's go ahead and move on to our next focus here, which is Space Marine chapters. So we're going to get the main ones here. Dark Angels, Space Wolf, Blood Angels, and Black Templar, and Death Watch. It's funny because last week Wednesday, when I was with my gaming group, I was hoping because I hadn't seen this article yet. I was saying something, I hope they give the Black Templar something more than just a 5-up, feel no pain against mortal wounds. And Travis, pointed out, yeah, but it's so hard to make a unique Space Marine chapter when there's so many Space Marine chapters out there that are just good at melee. I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It would be hard to make them unique enough without making them all the samey.
Right.
So let's see what they did in this article here. So first we've got the Dark Angels. Their detachment rule is Unforgiven Task Force, Grim Resolve. While Adeptus Astartes unit is Battle Shock, change the objective control to 1 instead of 0. So basically they will always be objective 1.
That's pretty nice. I like that.
Yeah, that, if someone's trying to just Battle Shock you off an objective, you'll still control it. You'll never lose it. So, pretty nice there. Pretty solid. And then we get to look at the Deathwing Command Squad here. Oh, got the Narthen Serum, which if it contains an apothecary, you bring back 1 guy. So I expected to see more apothecaries out there. They have the banner, which adds 1 to their objective control characteristic, so making them objective control 2. And Honor and Death contains a company champion, add 1 to the advance and charge roll. The unit for this unit, and then can target a unit with heroic intervention stratagem for 0 CP. So making them deadly in close combat here. So, which is nice. Nice to see the Terminators get some love there. But that is that. Lionel Johnson.
Speaking of getting an extra Deathwing commands or a Deathwing box and combining it with the new Terminator kit to build a new scale command squad, because I don't know if whenever this kit's gonna get updated.
Yeah, it would be nice. I'm sure GW will make one eventually, or third party, but they'll make one eventually. They've gotten so many.
Codex is coming out when, a year from now, according to the roadmap.
Yeah.
Which is like, ooh, long time to wait.
Yeah, it is gonna be a while. But moving on to Lionel Johnson, I can't really say much because honestly, I don't think much of his rules have really changed from the last time we took a look at him. Seeing how he is wasn't released as far from 10th edition as like some other characters here, like even Angron wasn't changed that much.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The Dark Angel's Bodyguard. Special rule here for him. Models within 3 of 1 or more friendly adeptus gain the lone operative ability, so that's pretty nice. If I recall correctly, lone operative means you can't be targeted unless you were within 12.
That is correct.
Yeah, it was either 12 or 18. I couldn't remember.
Which makes it better than Bodyguard or it makes it better than joining a unit because this overrides stuff like the Vindicare.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, it looks like everything else looks pretty samey. I'm sure some of the attacks damage characteristics have changed a little bit, but it looks pretty much the same. And Lionel Johnson, the Primarch, being leadership 5 compared to Grey Fax's 4-up. But there we go. That is that. We move on to the Space Wolves. They have Deeds of a Worthy Saga, which is a saga that you choose at the beginning of the game here, and you gain the benefit of that saga if you can complete it. So of the Warrior Born, if your Astartes character model destroys one or more enemy characters during the battle round, the benefit being all melee weapons, equipped by Astartes have the sustain one hit ability. So if you're going to be a very close combat-y army and you manage to get your captain into combat with another character and kill it, your whole army will gain this benefit, which is nice. It's a nice ability to have. But again, that is only just melee, so it wouldn't affect any of your range abilities. Saga of Majesty. If you complete this by controlling one or more objective markers in your opponent's deployment zone at the end of either player's turn, and one or more character models from your army is wholly within that objective marker. So a little more challenging to do with this one, but if you do complete it, improve the characteristics of all Astartes models by 1. So if you want to make your intercessors OC2 or 3, there you go. Edges you out a little bit more on the objective control bar side, but a little more harder to do, in my opinion. Seeing how you have to get your character in the back line and controlling the objective in said back line. Saga of the Bear. It's completed if one or more character models from your army were reduced to below half their starting number of wounds during the battle round, but were not destroyed at the end of the battle. Benefits: your army gets the Feel No Pain 6-up. Could be done. I mean, it'd be nice to have a 6-up army-wide Feel No Pain, but you gotta have. I mean, you only have to get one of your characters reduced below half their starting number of wounds, so it's doable. Probably a lot easier to do than reading it on paper here, but it all depends on what you're fighting.
Yeah, at least you get to pick.
Yeah.
When it's done, because if you have to pick something and then do it, it's kind of, I think it would be kind of bad. But because then your opponent, you telegraph what you want to do, right? But now, it seems like as long as you do one of these, you get to pick the saga. So if you just happen to have one of your units reduced to below half their starting number, bam, you get Feel No Pain.
It's a character, not a unit.
Oh, excuse me, character, yeah. Like, bam, Feel No Pain.
Yeah. And the last saga here, the Beast Slayer. If the character from your army destroys one or more enemy monsters or vehicle models during a battle round. Completed, equipped models, Space Marines from your army have lethal hit abilities in melee. So, I mean, it's fluffy, right? You're getting a story told by doing this saga and getting the benefits of it. So I wonder what the most popular one would be able to do. Which one would be the absolute easiest one? Then again, let's see, you get to do this at the end of the battle round. You can select one of the listed below. So it's an interesting thing for the Space Wolves to get. They're enhancing the melee aspect of them for a lot of these. And the warrior showcase that they're doing is the Hounds of Mordecai, which were psychic hunters back in 9th edition. Now they cause battle shock and lost my train of thought there. They cause battle shock, subtracting 1 from the result of the psyker unit. If that test is failed, in addition to being battle shock, that unit is stunned. And According to this, being stunned in the shooting phase while the unit is stunned, each time a model makes a psychic attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. So, still, I'm pretty sure they used to cause like mortal wounds to Psyker. Oh,
God, you
here it
never
is.
seen this like ever.
Well, I only know one person who's ever ran Hounds of Mordecai. And he only ran it because it was a new unit and it was fluffy. So, I mean, they were good when they were going against my Thousand Sons because being able to do mortal wounds against them hurts. But other than that, we'll see if they're gonna be taken. I highly doubt it though. Moving on, we got Blood Angels. Their ability is the Red Thirst, which if the unit made a charge move this turn to the end of the phase, add 1 to the strength and attack characteristics of the melee weapons equipped to that unit. So, very powerful. Very powerful, especially if you're going to get that on, Death Company. Well, anything Death Company, really. This Sanguine Guard. All very powerful. +1 strength, they're making them strength 5 on their basic attack. Plus an additional attack, so just looking at the Astartes Chainsword here for the Death Company. Be strength 5 with 5 attacks. That'll be gross.
Yeah, it's a really good trait. It's pretty straightforward. Charge, you get more attacks. Bam, done.
More attacks, more strength. Bada bing, bada boom. But yes, they show off the Death Company Intercessors here. Giving them the keywords Black Rage and Visions of Heresy. Going with Black Rage, each time a unit in this makes an attack can reroll the hit roll. While this unit is within 12 of one or more friendly chaplain models, it cannot select to fall back, and objective control characters of models in this unit is 0. So, you're into the lust right there, the bloodlust. And then the Visions of Heresy, once per turn, you can target this unit with a Fire Overwatch stratagem or a Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP. Well, anything to get him closer into combat. It'll be nice to do. So, pretty solid for the Death Company there. I can't wait to see what other... I want to see the jump pack. Does Death Company still have jump pack? Or no?
Not the Intercessors, the regular Death Company, you do.
Okay. I want to see those. Because those were always nasty. And then showing off Gabriel Seth. Which, I can't lie, I don't really know much about Gabriel Seth here. He gets a Lord of Slaughter special rule while he's leading his unit. That unit is eligible to declare charge, even if it advance. Always solid. And Whirlwind of Gore. Each time this model fights, until that fight is resolved, add 1 to the attack characteristic of this model's Blood Reaver for every 5 enemy models within 6 inches of this model. So Gabriel Seth is just going to be a beat stick. You want to charge him into the biggest unit you can, and you're going to just do lots of damage with your possibly 8 attacks, assuming you go into a unit of 10 at strength 8, AP 2, 3 damage, hitting on 2s. Gross character. But that's them. Black Templars, my boys. They are going to keep the Templar vows. So this used to be something you pick at the beginning of the game. And as we see here, you're going to pick this at the beginning of the game. So, suffer not the unclean to live. Melee attacks have lethal hits. Uphold the honor of the Emperor. Has Feel No Pain 6 up, and an ability leadership characteristic of 5. So making them a little bit better. Abhor the Witch, Destroy the Witch. Models have a 4-up invul save against psychic attacks, and melee weapons equipped by models in this unit have the anti-psyker +4. Accept any challenge no matter the odds. Melee weapons equipped by this model have the sustained hits 1 ability. Pretty good. I mean, pretty solid for what it does. Of course, you have to, just like the old Templar vows, you picked this at the start of the game.
Which I really like because it's thematically, you see the enemy, make your vows.
Yeah.
Good to go.
If I recall, it's been a while. Usually in 9th edition, Templar vows also had a con with them, which is fine. Which was cool in my opinion. These ones, no downsides, so even better. But we'll see how it goes. I do like how it is. I would most likely be going for Suffer Not the Unclean to Live, just because I'm a very melee heavy army, and I don't really see myself fighting many psychers. But hey, that's the beauty of this, is I have options to pick and choose.
Right.
I don't need to have this at the start of every game. Moving on, I got the Sword Brethren. You got the Vow of Sworn Bladesman. At the start of the battle fight phase, you can select one of the following effects to apply to melee weapons equipped by each model in the unit. Add 1 to the attacks, or add 1 to the damage. So, of course, options are always nice. It'll be whatever situation you need to go through. You need to mow down some orcs, you're going to go for the +1 attack. You need to kill some space marines, you're going to go for that damage. So, I probably opt in more for the attacks, just to roll dice. Seeing how GW said that they were getting rid of a lot of rerolls. Still a lot of rerolls in this game. So, more attacks would probably be the better option.
I noticed it's mostly on special characters. I was looking at the Leviathan data sheets, and there was not a lot of rerolls for generics. So I think they're trying to take it away from generics and then just reserving them for special characters.
Right. But I mean, there's some abilities out there, like the heavy keyword rerolls.
Oh, right, yeah. Is it reroll or +1 to hit?
I'll have to look it up. I'm pretty sure it's rerolls if you're standing still. But
okay.
There's that. We got the Death Watch. They get the mission tactics, which is at the start of your command phase. You can select one of the mission tactics below until the start of your next command phase. That mission tactic activates its effects, applies to all units in your army with this ability. Mission tactics can only be selected once per battle. So, you got the Furor tactics, which Astartes have sustained 1 hits ability. You go the Mathias tactics, which gives Space Marines have the lethal hits ability, and Pregatus tactics, which gives your Space Marines the makes an attack if a critical hit is scored. They get the precision ability. It's kind of whatever. I mean, just like not Thousands, Black Templar and the Space Wolves, you get options to choose from. Of course, you can do this at the start of any of your command phase, so pick and choose for what you need to do at that time.
I think the real strength of the Death Watch is going to be the squad mixing again, assuming they keep it, which I think. Yeah, I think they do. So
I'm sure they're going to keep the squad mixing. And their unit that they're going to show off is the Death Watch Veterans, who have the ability of Death to Alien. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll hit rolls of 1. If that target the attack does not have the Imperium or Chaos keywords, you can reroll the hit roll instead. So, keeping true to their purging ways. And then I think that is it. Yes, that is all the faction focus for Space Marines. Overall, I mean, it looks good. They're all unique enough. Obviously, there's going to be some overlap here and there, but I think they keep lore friendly enough and unique enough to stand on their own. So
yeah, the abilities make sense, which is nice.
Yes, that's good. Moving on to the last faction focus that I want to talk about, and this is Legions and Legends. So this talks about the Forge World stuff. So 30k obviously is a lot of the Forge World models. Contemptor Dreads, Dorito Dreads, some other stuff. Anything you'd find in the 30k universe that would be used competitively into 40k. Well, now they're gonna start tightening the rope around that. So here we go. Let's take a look at this article. So there's gonna be 2 keywords here. We got the Legends of Horus Heresy. With this keyword, you cannot use any of these models in competitive 40k.
Nope, so, specifically in competitive Games Workshop run tournaments. Huge difference.
True. Because
there's a store nearby, a couple of stores actually that I know of, that will not be abiding by this in their store tournaments. So it's not like Legends where if you play match play, it's the rules, you have to follow by these rules. It's specifically for Games Workshop run tournaments. So if you go to Warhammer World, they have a tournament. If you go to like the Warhammer Cafe or something, or the Texas Cafe, then these rules will be, will be
ignored.
Enforced. Or enforced. Yeah, for those, like if you go to Warhammer World and stuff. But if you go to a whatever, like ITC, I don't think has declared anything yet. They might follow it. Who knows? But yeah, there's a couple of stores nearby that I know are already, they have said they're not going to be using these rules.
Yeah. Well, that's good. But here is the list right here. Leviathan, Contemptor, Doritos, Kratos, Secure, and Spartan, Cerberus, Typhon. Certain variants of the Land Raider, Vindicator, and Whirlwind. And the list goes on. Of course, it's all there if you want to see it. And then they said there are going to be stuff that they are going to be continuously using and updating for competitive play, such as the Imperial Knights line are going to be fine. Adeptus Custodi units are going to be fine. That's pretty much it. So, if you're big into those official, I guess official would not be the right word.
Yeah, well,
GW sanction. That'd be the right one.
Well, because the keyword is official. They use the terms official Warhammer 40,000 tournaments, and technically we don't really know what that specifically means. As far as we know, it only means at the ones that GW directly runs. Like LVO is technically not an official tournament because it's run by FLG, not Games Workshop. So there's a lot of, to be fair, I will say this, there's a lot of, it's not clear what counts as an official tournament. I mean, again, like, it didn't say all match play, it just said official Warhammer 40,000 tournaments, right?
Mm.
But they do say in your gaming clubs and all that, narrative campaigns and match play games, you could use them. So they even make a distinction. This is match play legal, just not in competitive tournaments.
Well, it's sad to see, but it's okay.
I actually like this as a Horus Heresy player because I'm kind of fucking tired of all this shit being out of stock because the 40k competitive players keep buying like 10 Leviathans. So to be quite honest with you, this is great. Like, I seriously, like, there was a time. I mean, now with the plastic ones, it's less of an issue, but that's the thing. Like, if the Leviathan happens to be OP, as an example, in 10th, they're gonna buy that stock up, and the Heresy players will have a hard time because it's already Horus Heresy is already lower stock. I think this is. It's not. I mean, in the ideal world, right? These units will be available and balanced, and when I say available, I mean they produce enough where they don't sell out. But in reality, Games Workshop doesn't have 20 factories; they have like 3. So they got to be careful on. They got to really be picky on what they could keep in stock. So I think removing incentive for people to buy these up does help stock levels. Because again, I remember when Leviathans were really strong with Iron Hands in 8th, people were getting lots of them. They're getting 3 Leviathans, 3 Contemptors. Well, most Horus Heresy players would only get 1. And again, I'm not saying like Horus Heresy players deserve this more than 40k players, but it's primarily made for Horus Heresy. It just happens to have 40k rules. And again, like they're not removing 40k rules for them. You could still play them in match play. You just can't play them in quote unquote competitive events, whatever that specifically means, which we don't know yet. But this is for me. This is the best thing they could do given the resources they have. It does kind of suck though that decimators, blight drones, blood slaughterers, and all that are also included because my argument doesn't apply there because those aren't really not even those are not in Horus Heresy. But I understand that it's probably a balance thing because again, Forge World produces a limited amount of these, and if the Kai 10 is OP, right, then they're gonna be sold out perpetually of Kai 10s because it's a specialized kit. The mold's probably showing wear and tear. Same for the brass scorpions and all that. Which again, that sucks, but it is what it is, kind of thing. I think Games Workshop, especially now that 40k is getting the most competitive support it's had in its lifetime, it should just stick to the plastic kits that they have control over. Because I mean, even if you look at the rules, these aren't in the codexes; these are in that separate Imperial Armor book.
It is, yep.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see that Custodes at least are still have their stuff and Imperial Knights because over 50% of their data sheets are Forge World. Same for Imperial. Well, maybe not. Maybe it is for Imperial Knights. There's a lot of Forge World Imperial Knights, so I think that's a good band-aid for now, at least until they roll out more units for those factions. But totally understand why the Horus Heresy stuff doesn't have, is banned from competitive events. And every time I say this, I do air quotes for the listeners because again, we don't know what that means. There's nothing that says you cannot play this at a random pickup game at your local store under the match play rules. This is only specifically for competitive events. And
Yep.
again, as a comparison, in official 40k competitive events, you have to use the color scheme, or sorry, the rules of your color scheme. So if you paint your army like Ultramarines, you have to use them as Ultramarines. That's what it is for quote unquote competitive events. Point I'm making is that it's not. There's nothing that says this will be widely accepted. Now it might be just because of the balance thing. These aren't gonna get as much balance up or points updates as the plastic codex releases, but it's still up in the air who's actually going to enforce this or not. Now, I wouldn't, if I were you, listeners, I would not build an army with these units expecting FLG to not abide by this. It's mostly just for people who happen to have or like these models. I want to use them, or for Horus Heresy players who want to play in 40k. But yeah,
There we go. Well, luckily I didn't buy into all this. I did buy 3 Contemptor Dreads. 3 nice, beautiful 1,000 Sun Contemptor Dreads. That's about it. That's as much as of the Forge World stock that I dove into.
I have all this crap, but I also play Heresy, so
Oh yeah,
it's okay.
I mean that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
All right, and that is that for the faction focuses. I think it's time we move on to our Sunday preview, which it's time. Leviathan approaches.
Leviathan approaches.
So Leviathan is finally coming out. I'm pretty sure a couple podcasts ago I would said it was going to be available for pre-order on the 10th and then arrive on the 24th with a 2-week pre-order. So
Yep. Checks out.
I called it. Thank you, John, for saying that GW always does big releases in June. That's the only way I calculated it.
Financial cycle, yay.
Yeah. So
So there we go.
It'll be out pre-orders will be June 10th. Question is, John, will they have enough stock?
Yes, I will bet money. I will bet. What can I bet? I'll bet my. What can I bet? What do I have? What's an army I don't really play anymore?
Tyranids?
I'll bet my Tyranid. Thank you. I'll bet my 3,000 point Tyranid army that they will have enough in stock.
Well, how many days is enough in stock?
If it survives the whole weekend without selling out. Now, they did say, and the reason why I'm so confident is in the Sunday preview. It says that they're gonna have a queuing system with limited quantity available for customers, so you can't just buy 20 of them instantly. And they did say they have made a mind-boggling quantity, which again, there's some industry rumors that the reason why the past few plastic boxes have sold out so quickly is that Games Workshop has dedicated most of their plastic manufacturing into making this box. So that's what is that reason number 2. So first reason is they declared that there'll be limited quantity available. Reason 2 being they made a lot of them, as evident by the reduced production numbers of previous plastic kits or recent plastic kits. And the third reason for me why I'm so confident is that this is their launch box for an edition. You don't want this to sell out. You want to overproduce. This is something where you want to see in shelves, because worst case, it's a cool box that's on a store shelf and like, oh, what is this thing? Oh, it's 40K. Again, this is one thing they want to make a billion of and should not be afraid to overstock. I mean, Dominion kind of sucked that overstock. You could still see pallets of Dominion at some stores worldwide, the AOS launch box, but this one, it's 40K. It's way more popular. The models are just cooler, right? It's Tyranids versus Space Marines, a classic matchup. The game's coming out, Space Marine 2 this year. They have every reason to overproduce this and not feel bad about it. So I'm really confident that this is not gonna sell out instantly. I can even say that the pre-order will be up for 2 weeks and they're not gonna sell out. That this will, we will not see an out of stock notification for Leviathan. I know I could be wrong, right? It happened to Indomitus.
Indomitus did sell out pretty fast.
Yeah, that's kind of when they learned their lesson. So, I mean, the Black Templars box didn't sell out, so
it did not
during a time of fear that it would. So, again, the ultimate point is Games Workshop has every reason to just overproduce this. If at the end of the day they still have, let's say they make, I don't know, 200,000 copies, and at the end of the day they still have 100,000 left. That it's a great box. It gets people into 40K. The models are amazing, to be quite honest. I mean, I'm picky about the Space Marines, but if I was a new player, this is some cool stuff. The Tyranid have 10 out of 10 everything, So, yeah, absolutely. I am half joking, half serious. I will bet my Tyranid army that this is not going to sell out.
Sell it during the weekend.
Yes, during the weekend. Yeah.
All right.
Because
Well,
2 weeks is a long time. So it could sell out then, but for sure the weekend.
well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let's hope it
Yeah.
doesn't become like Indominus, where it sold out super fast.
Yeah, I actually was not able to get a copy on launch day. So, well, pre-order one. I was able to buy one at a local store.
Yeah, I was able to buy Indominus third party from like a store in Italy or something like that.
Yeah.
So mine took a little longer to get to me, but I got it. But here we go. So, yep, that's coming out, and rumors are saying it's gonna be what, 250.
I think that's confirmed. That's another local store said that's what they're gonna be selling it at. And when they announce something for pre-order, they usually send out the price list for independent retailers. So full confidence that it's gonna be 250, which sounds about right. I think we've been talking about that in our group chat. Like, sounds about right for what this is. You get 2 combat patrols, which are $150. So 2 combat patrols is already 300, and then you get the $60 rulebook and like the $30 card set.
In the yeah,
Yeah, and to be honest, you get more models in a combat patrol here. Now they are single pose and not multi kits like you'll get in a regular combat patrol, but that if you don't mind that, it does push up the value even more because you get way more models. So yeah, and then as I mentioned earlier, I already put my name down for this box, splitting it with our buddy Will at the
yeah.
local game store.
I'll probably be spamming the Warhammer site, constantly F5ing at work trying to get a box. Get that. There'd be some other little goodies if you go to their store.
Yeah, this is cool. The pre-order bonuses.
Yeah, get a little mat here.
Yeah, if you get from the web store, you'll get a double-sided cardboard mat
Yep,
or board.
like they use for Warcry and Kill Team.
Yeah.
You can also get these Leviathan tokens / case here.
Mm-hmm.
Get 6 objective markers, wound markers, and I don't know what the other markers are, but
I think they are what's battle shock markers. So if something fails a battle shock, which I think that's actually really useful because now that battle shock matters, I think having that marker is really useful.
of course, I don't care too much for the objective markers. I kind of like, the 3D foam ones that show you how far you need to be from the objective to be controlling it.
Right.
But this is a nice start, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So nothing terrible you would get out of this, really. Get that. We also get some, what is this? Card?
So this is actually kind of cool. If you order from a local game store, the first thing you could get is a set of deployment zone markers. Now, 40k deployment zones these days have been kind of weird, weird. So this seems quite useful. I play Star Wars. I mean, we play Star Wars Legion, and the deployment markers there are incredibly useful because of the freaking weird zones that they have. So
Right.
I can see this being useful. It kind of disappointed that it's like cardboard. If it
Yeah,
was,
this looks weird. I don't like this.
yeah, if it was acrylic, that would be my favorite thing you could get for sure. But
Yeah, I don't care
yeah,
too much for this. The other thing, you get the dice tray with the Terminator Eye promotion on there.
that's cool. Dice trays are cool. It's probably the one I'm gonna get when I pre-order.
Yeah, this is a nice bonus to get. I would get this one and use that because I throw my dice everywhere, as my gaming group can attest to.
Mm-hmm.
So we get that, the Leviathan Special Edition book, which is going to be the campaign book for this. Get the nicely detailed Space Marine and Gaunt on the book there. Very nice. And then get the paper, digital, and audio book as well. I'll probably be picking this up just to see if it's any good.
Yeah.
Echoes of Eternity becoming soft cover for those Horus Heresy out there. And then for your Warhammer Plus, we're getting Black Talon Episode 5, another 40k battle report, and Lore Master of the Marine. So pretty jam-packed. I look forward to seeing the GW website crash as everyone floods to get a copy of Leviathan. I will be there as well, but we'll see. All good stuff. Other news is we have the Warhammer rulebook ready for download now. I'm not going to go too much into this. Maybe another episode we can go into this, but yeah. They give you the PDF rules for the entire book right here.
Side note, this PDF is terrible. It's very not compressed. It loads, like, it just takes kind of forever to load. But it's free, right? I'm not gonna knock them out for it, but yeah, it is it's a super, what's the word? The file size is huge.
Poorly optimized?
Yeah, poorly optimized, perfect. Thank you. Yep, it's very poorly optimized. But it's free and it's pretty. So, give them that.
No, I debated with my group here if we now that the rules are out, should we play a game? It's like, yeah, probably just wait till the actual edition comes out, or until the army's rules become free.
Yeah, I think having the data sheets is important because they have changed quite a bit.
Yeah, so we'll definitely hold off. My friend said they're going to be releasing some like mid-June. Some of the army data sheets. I don't know where he got that information from, but if that's true, that'll be great. That means I'll probably play a lot sooner.
Yeah, there was a post on, I forgot the Bolter. I think it was Bolter and Chainsword that had dates for when things would happen, and they successfully predicted the date the core rules would drop, and when the pre-order. Well, the pre-order one I don't think is that special, but they did predict the day the core rules drop, and I think they predicted the Leviathan datasheet date as well.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the rest will be correct.
Yeah, he said like Tyranids and Space Marines would be June. Let me pull this up. Gotta pull up my messages. So Space Marines, Tyranids would be June 9th, Chaos the 13th, Dark Eldar 15th, and points, which I assume would be all the army points, on the 16th. So if he got that from Bolter, Chainsaw, Sword, then and those dates are correct, we'll be getting our armies out there a lot faster than expected before the edition even drops, surprisingly. But kudos to GW for giving us the entire rulebook right here before the edition even drops. Never thought I'd see the day where they would do something like this. But I guess they gotta build up that hype, right?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of building up hype, they are going to be doing another global campaign. For they're gonna call this Battle for, I don't know how you say this, Okram.
I don't know. Anyways,
some planet. So basically, if I recall, wasn't Indominus pretty much had any faction can join in, and then they'd write a narrative around it?
Is this Tyranid and Space Marine only?
This is Tyranid and Space Marine only.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
interesting.
only Leviathan box set.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So no pesky Eldar or orcs are gonna be intervening into this conflict. It is only the Leviathan box set. So to enter in when you pre-order the box, I can't remember if you pre-order it you get the code, or when you get the box you get the code.
It looks like when you get the box inside, there's a code.
So yeah, you'll get a code. You'll enter that code in, and then you'll be entering into the campaign. And so on June 26th is going to be the start. You have 13 days to get your force out there, play a game with the Leviathan box, and then send in your results into GW. Winners of the campaign will have their new models revealed first. So there's still new models for Space Marines and still new models for Tyranids that are coming out apparently. So whoever wins this will get their models revealed first. In addition to this, if you are selected to win, their website here, if you are selected to win, you can win the new models, all the new models that they reveal for the rest of the year, I think is what they state.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna participate in it. Why not? I'm gonna buy the Leviathan box anyway.
Yeah, I have a Space Marine, so
Why not enter in? Why not try to win some free models and participate in a lore 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 event? It's fun. It's inclusive. It's a good idea on GW. I know they did it back when in Indominus, but it got very convoluted with all the other armies jumping in there kind of randomly. But this one will be nice. This one I'll see will end up very good. But yeah, I don't really have any more stuff to add. Do you have any more for the global event?
hopefully they actually stand by the results. I believe Games Workshop has a history of not wanting to change the status quo, or maybe just Imperium just wins, right? Maybe sorry, I take that back. It's not that they don't want to change the status quo. It's just that there's so many more Imperium players. So I think hopefully having a campaign where like the Tyranids actually win would be great. I'm I'm really not sure if that's gonna happen because again, there's just so many Space Marine players, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. Again, it is just the Leviathan contents of the box, so anything could happen. But I'm excited, so. Then that is. Oh, well, there's this. So there's the Leviathan pre order. They decided to show off the data sheets for all the contents inside the box. So if you want to take a look at the Space Marines and Tyranids before buying the box, seeing if the models are worth it, they're all right there for you to take a look at. We're not going to go into that right now, though. Spent enough on Leviathan. Is there any other GW news that I missed that you want to talk about?
I think that's it.
All right, then. Moving on to Star Wars Legion. We have some point changes. So what's the source on this one?
So this was just someone who translated the official document because the official document just kind of tells you what the what's it called what the new points are.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just someone saying, oh, this new points cost for the Imperial officer means that it went up by 5 points. So the official document dropped today. This is just an easy way of looking at it because
Okay.
if someone told me, oh, this unit costs this many points now, I wouldn't know if that's an increase or a decrease. I'd have to look. So this is just a shortcut. But big things here. So let's go over each faction. So Empire discounts for Callus and Veers and the dewback weapons, which is pretty good. Callus also gets a discount from his weapon, which he kind of always takes, so realistically he gets a bigger points cut. E-Web also gets a points cut, which is pretty good. These are units that haven't seen play in a while, and hopefully the cuts mean that they're taken more. Veers especially. Veers is a solid support commander, but he's kind of overshadowed by the regular officer, because the regular officer is just way too efficient. However, it did go up by 5 points because of that reason, just so she's not as of an as much of an auto include as she has been. Stormtrooper HRU, which is a Blizzard Force unit, gets a 10-point increase, and people usually take 2 of these, so it's a 20-point increase to Blizzard Force lists.
What? I got hit. My snowtroopers.
No, Stormtroopers, because Blizzard Force has a new unit. Essentially, it's a Stormtrooper unit that can take 2 heavy weapons. It's Blizzard Force only, and that unit took an increase. Not Snowtroopers. Snowtroopers are unchanged.
Okay, cool. That's all I care about.
Dark Troopers got an increase in their heavy weapons, so most squads are going to be up by 12 points now. This is a pretty significant increase. I played Dark Troopers, and paying 24 more points for a double unit is pretty steep, but they deserve it. It's a really strong unit, and I am not mad at all. In fact, I am happy that they didn't get a worse points increase. So I'll still be running them. There's actually a tournament this Saturday that will be using these new points costs, and I will be running my robots. And yeah, I'll be paying more points for them. And I'm just gonna mention this because it's the Imperial version. Boba Fett is going up by 10 points. He is pretty strong, to be quite honest. So I think that's well deserved. He's still really good. I mean, he's speed 3, he has sharpshooter 2, he has a pierce weapon, he has really good command cards. I mean, you play him, man. You know how strong he is. I think the 10 points, I think, is fair.
Nah. Shouldn't have done my boy dirty like this.
No, I need a decrease. Nah.
Might as well throw him in the Sarlacc pit right now.
What's up?
Might as well throw him in the Sarlacc pit right now.
Oh my gosh. I think come back as a rebel. Rebel Boba is unchanged, though. So, there you go. Going to Rebels, huge. It's pretty much all decreases. Lando, Leia, Commander Luke, Mandos, the special Mando unit. Cassian Andor, his rifle is now free, so it costs 0 points because everyone took it on him. And yeah, this just essentially it's a 10-point decrease on Andor because again everyone took that weapon. Mandalorians and their upgrades also got some huge cuts. Hopefully that means they see more play. The Rebel shotgun heavy weapon gets a 2-point decrease. I don't know if that'll do anything. Tauntaun's got a decrease as well. So I mean, Rebels have been suffering recently. They haven't really won any major tournaments or placed in the top 3 or 4. So these decreases are welcome. Ahsoka just came out, so there's a renaissance in Rebel popularity. Hopefully this will push them to tournament winning status. Next is Republic. Same for Rebels. They have had huge decreases. Not huge, but many decreases. Captain Rex, ARC Troopers, Padme after her nerf, the Saber tank, all their vehicles, except for the ATRT, Saber beam turret. So yeah, just trying to make these units more attractive because right now the only Republic list, there's 2. Essentially, it's triple Barks and either Anakin or Cody or both, and then some clone troopers. I think this hopefully will push ARC Troopers even more because they already got a points decrease. So again, hopefully this will mean that people will start taking ARC Troopers again. The Saber tank decrease is welcome. 10 points is not a lot, but it's also not a little, so I welcome that change. Going to droids also decreases everywhere, mostly to units that people didn't take, like the droid commandos, droidicas. Grievous got essentially a 13-point cut because his weapon upgrade and the unit himself got a points decrease. Super Tactical Droid got a decrease as well because people weren't really taking him. They usually took the special character version. And Commando Shield's got a huge cut of 8 points, so they're trying to push Battle Droid Commandos, it seems, which makes sense because they never really saw play. Surprised that Dooku got a cut, maybe to make up for the deflect nerfs and the force choke, which I will talk later. But yeah, pretty good if you're a fan of BXs and Grievous. Mercenaries, Black Suns get a slight increase with a 4 points because the heavy weapon that people usually took and the unit itself got an increase. This is not bad. It's a really good unit. It's red saves with a free surge if you take the capo. Really good at range 2. Throws a lot of dice. Has a lot of impact with the heavy weapon. So no surprise there. Surprised that Pikes didn't get anything. They're still really good, I think, and they were untouched. Gar Saxon and the Super Commandos for Shadow Collective also got some point decreases. Swoop Bikes as well, being a unit that was slightly just overshadowed by more Pikes or Black Sun. So I think the hope here is, which is the theme for the other cuts, is to push people to take units that aren't very popular because they were too expensive. So hopefully this will mean we will see more Super Commandos and Swoop Bikes on the table. And finally, the AA5 quad laser on the truck got a slight decrease with 3 points. Not, again, it's like a saber tank. It's not a lot, but it's not nothing, so I welcome it. Force choke, though, 5-point increase. That's pretty bad. Force choke is super good, I'll admit. Being able to, I think it's the only effect in the game now that you could. I mean, I'm sure there's one more that I'm forgetting, but it's the only big one where you could pick who dies with force choke. So yeah, it's but still, it's doubled in cost now.
Good, I'm glad. I hate when you force choke my units.
Yes, I do that. It's pretty fun, but now I gotta pay more for it. So, I mean, it seems that other podcasters and Legion players have said that it seems that Force users are getting weaker and weaker, which I don't know. I mean, they're hard to play, but I mean, I don't know if it's a design space thing if they want a more varied playing field rather than just Force users everywhere. But it's not like the game was dominated by Force users, so I don't know. I think I have no real opinion. This is the only change where I have no real opinion on. I don't know if it's a bad or good thing, the Force choke change. But we'll have to see how it plays out. If this means we'll see less Vaders and Amals. I don't think so. My Vader list kind of didn't really change. I just replaced tenacity with the force choke increase. I don't think an extra red dice is gonna make or break him. So yeah, I think this is pretty solid. It doesn't. I don't think it addresses the Blizzard Force meta domination. I think we will need to see what they do with the errata, the rules errata, to see Blizzard Force balance out even more. Dark Troopers for sure. That's a huge increase with them. I had, it's 24 points increase for double DT list and even single DT. 12 points is pretty big. But I think that's fair. They're still really strong, but I don't know if this will make them not as impressive as they are. But that's another one we'll have to wait and see. In terms of the points decreases, though, I think it's safe to say we're going to see more of these units, especially Mandalorians. Mandalorians being the popular thing in Star Wars pop culture these days. So being able to take them more without feeling bad about it is good. And just looking at the unit, that's an 8-point decrease with the heavy weapon and the base unit, and that's significant. 8 points is a lot in Legion. So, and another 3 for the rocket. So yeah, I think we'll see more ARC Troopers. We'll see more Mandos. Hopefully we'll see more Droid Commandos. I don't think we'll see more Droidicas. Droidicas are still kind of garbage in my opinion. Grievous still needs more help, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. There's nothing that is glaringly like, I don't see anything here that's gonna make me think, oh, this will warp the meta. I think this is just their attempt at pushing units that aren't being used to be used and trying to address the Blizzard Force and Dark Trooper issue without nerfing them to the ground. So, yeah.
I look forward to it. I'm glad my E-Web went down.
Yeah, E-Web did go down, which is pretty nice because E-Web needs some help.
Never really done much for me in the game, but maybe now it'll be better.
Maybe now. now that it costs less.
All right, that's everything for Star Wars.
Or Legion, yeah, that's a big Legion news. Ahsoka came out recently. I picked her up. Don't think I'll play her anytime soon, because I think I'll be sticking to Empire. I'm just having way too much fun with them.
Of course, it's the winning team. It's the good guys.
Yes, the good guys.
All right, then. Well, I think we can get into the hobby rant section of our show. What have you been up to? It's been a while since we've talked about it.
Played some 30K. Took my mechanic on the table once again, but I'll be playing at the Legion tournament, like I mentioned earlier, on the weekend. There's a Worlds taken on the line, so I will be bringing my try-hard Dark Trooper list with. I can't bring my tank list anymore because that's too expensive now. Actually can't take that list because I can't really cut anything without gutting the list. So that's kind of unplayable now, which is fine. I had a good time with it. I got third place with it, so I'm pretty happy. But big thing is I've been playing Shatterpoint recently because the game just came out. Picked up my core set. And
Yeah,
actually
how is
getting
that?
some phones right now. What's up?
How is it?
It's really fun. It's very different from other games. It's a game where it's really hard to kill people. You'd have to essentially, when you take someone down to 0 health, they get a wounded token and they can't die until they have enough wound tokens equal to their like resilience value or something. So essentially, there's 2 layers of health, kind of like some fighting games. But the unit only suffers that wound if they activate. So let's say a unit activates and then it gets attacked and it's down to 0 health, it gets a wounded token. You actually don't get that wound until the next time it activates. And that means because the game is like 3 rounds, if a unit has like a resilience of 3, like most Jedi, they kind of can't die. But the big thing is if you're wounded, you don't count as scoring. So if someone's at the objective and the game is super centered around objective, it's mainly an area controlled game. It means that, well, you still could throw someone at that enemy and wound them, and then even though they're not dead, they don't hold that objective until the next time they activate. Which,
Okay.
yeah, it's just very different from other war games. It's very interesting, and I really like it because of that reason. The combat tree, which I mentioned before, is super cool. Where after you calculate hits and saves, instead of straight damage, you go through a combat tree, and you get to either do more damage or do damage, or you get to move them, and then depending on how many successes you get this tree where you get to choose if you want to do more damage or you want to do debuffs or all that. So it's pretty fun. They're really exploiting the fact that you only have between 6 to 8 models at a. Actually, usually you only have like 8 models at per per side. So they have a lot of things they could do. Most units have like battle droids, right? Have like 3 abilities, and the basic it's a basic battle droid. So it's really fun. It's cheap in the sense where if you get the $160 core set, you kind of have everything to play. It's not like Legion or 40K where you get the starter set, like Leviathan, right? It's not a 2,000 point army. You need it if you want to play the full experience. You need to buy more stuff. While in Shatterpoint, it's the same. It's the same for Kill Team. If you get the core set, it's the same. But if you get the Shatterpoint core set, you get everything you need to play, and you can also mix and match because the cool thing I mentioned before about Shatterpoint is that there's no factions. Your squads just have to be the same era. So in the core set, you got Darth Maul, you got Anakin, you got Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and some Mandalorians and some Baldroids and clones. So you can mix and match. Now, there is some synergy if you take Obi-Wan, he buffs Republic units, right? But you could do something like Obi-Wan on one team, and your other team is Darth Maul, because you usually take 2 teams when you build your army. And so there's a lot of variation if you get the core set, which I think is really cool. Again, it's really character centric. It reminds me more of like a MOBA or a fighting game, or like like a fighting game rather than a RTS game in that sense, because it is super character centric, and the characters individually have a lot to do. But it's just different, which again I really like.
Interesting. Yeah. My group was talking about it on Wednesday, seeing if we were going to get into it or not. Still up in the air. Don't know if
Yeah,
we're
it's,
gonna
again,
get
it's really a really different experience. It's not like any other war game I've played, which is their intention. So
well, sometimes being different is all you need to be successful.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's nice. About anything else? Oh,
That's pretty much it for me. Yeah.
I don't know if we went over this before, but I forgot. Shutterprint models painted or not painted?
Oh, not painted. You get to paint them. I'm actually painting some right now.
Okay.
But the thing with the game where it's like, so I'm helping run the events at Geeky Teas in Burbank, and I was talking to the owner, and we're trying to prep the demo set. I'm like, just prime one of the light side blue and prime the dark side red, and it looks fine because it really feels like a board game where the meat of the game really is the game, not the whole like spectacle of painted models. And I mean the terrain is great, right? But like if you just did what I mentioned and you and you just prime your team like not black because or white because that looks kind of weird, but like a blue color and just leave it at that, or like maybe dry brush them or something, or yeah, it looks fine and the game is still super fun and you just feel like a board game because it kind of really feels like a board game more than a war game. So yeah, just want to mention that.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting points. You'll have to bring it over to our gaming session.
Yeah,
Demo it out for us to see if we'll get into it.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, on my end, uh, just having a lot of fun with Shadows of Brimstone at the moment.
Nice.
Me and my group are just doing that. Nice, easy. Don't have to memorize any rules. Just have a good old dungeon crawl. Doing that. One of my Kickstarters finally came in.
Yay.
Not Shadows of Brimstone Kickstarter. Still
Uh-huh.
waiting on that one. But I got the Dead by Daylight board game,
Oh, okay.
so I can have have people enjoy the same fun as when I play that video game,
For terror.
if only. But it's fun if you're familiar with the community of Dead by Daylight, you know what I'm talking about. But
Have you played Bolt Gun?
I have not.
Mm,
I was actually going to boot that up tomorrow after a hard day of work. No, I feel like I need to go slay some heretics, demons.
there you go. Yeah, I played like halfway, and it's really fun. I am very satisfied with the product. The way they set it up, it seems like there's gonna be future DLC characters because when you start the game, it says like Sternguard veteran. These are your abilities, and it's like, huh, abilities, okay. So I kind of think that maybe in the future they're gonna have different classes, which would be kind of cool because like the gameplay is great, and I wouldn't mind replaying the game with a different character. And it's just
Uh,
good mindless fun, you know. So,
I don't know if they'll add different characters, more levels maybe, but
mm,
I hear the only complaint of that game is the enemy types are not as varied.
yeah, they are quite limited. I will say that. I'll yes to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll be booting that up tomorrow. Hitting the streaming for that one. But yeah, I just been busy with the work, so I haven't done anything with that.
For
And
sure.
of course, painting, painting. Gotta get this backlog out of here. Especially
Hmm.
when I'm gonna get a Leviathan. Don't know if
Man.
I'm gonna even paint up the Tyranids or even build them. I'll probably just sell them off, to be honest.
Mm,
Maybe keep the bigger bugs because those are more interesting, and just sell off the gaunts, the
that's fair.
ripper gaunts, and whatever stuff I don't care about. The monsters, definitely want. But it's too much. Too much stuff. Gotta get it all done. That's my goal. But yeah, I think this is a good place to call it. I'd like to thank everyone who made it to the end. And we'll see you all next time.
Let everyone.